I played a few co-op games. I said one before was like Night Rain, but also played Peak this year, and I think Peak is a really interesting game to play. Because like Peak is all about like you being stranded somewhere and then you're just climbing to the top of a mountain in order to signal, in order to get a helicopter ride home. But the way how they do the gameplay of the climbing section is really interesting, I think. Because like basically well, can climb, but like it's a system where you're managing like how much health you have, how much your pack is, because like you have one huge health bar, but like depending on your current status, that health can decrease, and that health bar is like also your stamina bar. So like the pack, the items you carry, they'll like decrease the amount of stamina or health you have. Being damaged or being like damaged, that'll like take away your stamina bar as well. Being sick or like getting poisoned by a mushroom, that'll take away from it as well. So you're when going through the levels, you're always weighing your options on what you think is the best way to do. What's the best way to proceed your way up? Do I need this item now or for later, or should I just leave it right now? Or combine that with the interesting biomes that you go through, it is a very fun game to play through, especially co-op.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I
Yeah.
only played like a couple of times with friends, but I had a good time with it.
And the other co-op game I played is I tried my first MOBA this year, which is the Dragon Ball game, Squadron 4. It's interesting. I'm not sure how much I can comment since I haven't played that much. But yeah. My friend got really mad at it sometimes.
For me, since we were talking about Silent Hill before, I did beat Silent Hill F. I gotta say, I actually ranked this among one of my favorites in the series. I think this is close to the quality of the Team Silent games. I don't think it's quite there, but it's very, very close. Very, like almost. It's almost.
Did you
there.
play through all the endings? Yeah, through all the endings.
I was about to say that. So I only got the one ending, and I ended up watching the other endings on YouTube because that's just so many fucking playthroughs.
I heard that it's not the ending that just changed. It's like at a certain point, the entire playthrough changes.
I do plan on playing it all the way through at least one more time. It's just like I'm just not the kind of person where I'll like I beat a game and just immediately restart it. That's just like not. I'm just not. I don't really do that. So I do plan on going through it myself physically, like all the way through at least one more time. What were we gonna say, Daniel?
Lucky for you, they did just add an easier difficulty.
I did hear about that. Yeah, so I was. So it's funny. So all right, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I'm just gonna tell it anyway. So, before this new easy difficulty, there was normal and hard. They weren't called that, but I'm just gonna call them normal and hard. And I decided to play it on hard, and after a couple hours, I ended up restarting the game and playing it on normal. I've never done that before.
That's fair.
Never.
Totally fair.
Yeah, because like I was not having fun. I was getting very frustrated, and I was like I'm not trying to oppress anybody. I'm not enjoying this anymore. I'm just gonna start all over. I was early enough to the point where I was able to catch up to where I was like within just like a half hour, 45 minutes. So I was like, not that much was lost. So I just bit the bullet. I was like, whatever, fuck it, I don't care. I want to beat this, play it all the way through, and not want to chuck the control at the TV. So yeah, I did that, and believe it or not, I actually still found the game fairly challenging. This was like the right challenge. This was like it was like fun. Like I actually was having to time my attacks, do perfect dodges. It wasn't. It by no means was it brainless. So I cannot recommend normal enough. That is the way to that is the way to play it from my experience. And yeah, the quality of the story I think is definitely on par with the Team Silent games. I think Hinako is a great main character. I love her arc. I love her story. I I like the supporting cast. I think that's one area where I think the game fumbles a little bit, is because I think that they're a little underutilized. Like, there's a girl that you meet really early on. Her name is Rinko, and she kind of has like a vendetta against Hinako because there's kind of like this love triangle with them two and a boy, and like it's clear from the get go that she's like unhealthily obsessed with him, and that's a great idea for a story. But later on, like, she kind of like just like falls off, and the same goes with like her childhood friend Shu, and then there's another girl named Sakuko who you only see like I think like twice in the game. So I think that that's kind of one area where it's not as strong as the other games, but for the most part I think that the especially the writing for Hinako herself, I love her story. And it's interesting because the game's kind of like divided into two halves. You have like the reality, and then there's also a like sort of like a dream world where she'll wake up and she's greeted by this man wearing a fox mask, because she literally just calls fox mask because she doesn't know his name, and it's just chock full of mystery, and you have no idea what his end game is. Like, it's very obvious that he's got like ulterior motives and he's not like who he seems to be, but like she has no choice but to trust him because she's has nothing else to go off of. So she's like, well, I gotta guy because well, what the fuck else can I do? And as you go, yeah, he definitely doesn't have like the best intentions, to put it lightly, and that was a really cool mystery to unravel. So as far as the story goes, I think it's on par with the Team Silent games. I will say this though, the one thing I was very very unsatisfied with the ending, and I almost feel like that ending was. I almost feel like it was like bad on purpose to get you to replay the game. I'm probably reaching,
Yeah,
but like I
I've
was
heard.
very yeah, like I saw the ending and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, no, they did not just do that. And I won't spoil it, but yeah, I was not happy with the ending. So it definitely, I will say, it definitely acted as a motivator for me to want to go back to it and play it all the way through at least one more time, which I do plan on doing, probably in the near future, I want to say. And so yeah, aside from that, I really really enjoyed the story of this game. I think it's the best part of the game, and I think Hinako is one of the best leads in the series of all the games I've played. And as far as the gameplay goes, I think the atmosphere is absolutely on point. The fog is there, the audio design is there. The combat is actually pretty enjoyable. Like it's not like brainless. You actually have to. The enemies will have different tells. You have to parry them. You can have perfect dodges, but it doesn't feel like it's like a Devil May Cry game. It's just it's just it finds a happy medium between being like functional, accessible, but also having that like kind of like clunky, unwieldy feel to kind of like capture the essence of like a horror game, and the fact that you're not like a green beret, you're a fucking teenage girl fighting these terrific monsters. So it strikes that good balance. So I think the combat is actually really good. It doesn't have any firearms. It's exclusively melee combat, and I like that different weapons will handle differently from each other. So you have like some of the weapons will handle the same. Like you have a steel pipe. I think you have like a baseball bat, and then you have other weapons. Like you have a lance, like a spear, and that obviously controls totally differently. You also have heavy weapons like an axe or a sledgehammer that have slow attack speed but very high power. So you kind of have to like weigh out your options. You could be like, well, maybe this enemy's slower, so I could take advantage of the with a sledgehammer. Yada yada. So yeah, so you gotta wait, and the weapons are breakable, but they're plentiful enough that I never found that to be a problem. So I was able to like manage it pretty easily, and you can also even repair them with the item. So it's like as long as you're kind of like being conservative with your items, you can repair weapons that are like about to break. So it's not even really that big a deal. I also like there's actually like a small upgrade system you can get. I think they're called echoes, and you can use them to increase Hinago's like health or any other kind of like minor attributes to kind of give you a little bit of
Oh,
an
it's called
edge.
Faith.
And faith, that's what it was. So not echoes. I was thinking. Yeah, faith is what it was.
Mhm.
And yeah, you can use that to upgrade her stats. You also use them as like they also kind of double up as like a currency, and you can use them to like get charms, which are like accessories to give you little perks like Hinako's health recovers a little bit when you kill an enemy or something like that. So it's cool. It has like a touch of customization to kind of just make the gameplay a little more engaging. And yeah, I think the only thing I kind of I wasn't thrilled about was I think the monster design, or not the monsters designs themselves, but the monsters in terms of, like, I guess quantity is very limited. Like you fight the first enemy that you fight, which is like this doll type enemy. It's very creepy looking. That is the enemy for most of the game, and they have other enemies too. But like you'll fight palette swaps of that doll for the entire game. So like I think the enemy variety is a little lacking. I think could use maybe like one or two more monsters to try to keep the combat a little more engaging. So I think that's kind of
So
maybe an area where I'm a little bit let down.
so
But
it's even more limited than Silent Hill 2 in terms of enemy
I would say
variety.
it's probably about on par in terms of being limited, maybe even a little more limited. Like it's
Okay.
that you fight that doll enemy is like is that is the enemy for most of the game. So that you have some other cool ones. Like you have like this big burly like monster that's like twice your size that is very intimidating, and those are fun to fight. Like those are really cool, and they're pretty intimidating. The game has great bosses. I think the boss designs, all the bosses play differently.
Beat the first boss already, and that was a really good fight. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way
it's
like
and
it like disappears, and you have to like catch up to it, and it was really good.
Yeah, exactly, and they all maintain that high quality, I think. So it's now all right. So I'm not getting into spoilers, but the gameplay gets kind of weird, and when you get to like the second half of the game, so in that dream world with the fox mask, without like going into any detail, Hinako's moveset becomes very different from how it is in reality, and it's weird because she literally gets like a fucking devil trigger. Like you have a meter that fills up, and then you click the left and right sticks down together, and then she gets like a moment, like a brief window of invisibility, and can just like wail on enemies. Like the gameplay gets really strange but at the same time, I also feel like that's kind of what they were going for, because that alternate world is very strange and bizarre. So that it kind of is consistent with the atmosphere they're going for. So I know it sounds very cryptic, but I really don't want to spoil it.
So
So,
you're
but
saying
whatever.
she has like a Clive moment where you have to press
Yeah,
L3, R3.
yeah,
It's the truth.
exactly. It sounds so weird to say it in a Silent Hill game of all things, but yeah, it kind of has that. But it's not as goofy as it sounds. It makes more
Okay.
sense in context. So it ends up really once you get to that point where her entire fighting like style changes, both the reality and the fox like dream world, whatever you want to call it, they feel like two completely different games at a certain point. Like two complete, like it's like you literally turn the game off and put on something different. That's how different the combat feels after a certain point. And yeah, it all comes together really nicely. I think the game is fun to play. I think the story and is one of the best in the series. It's a great game. I was really happy with it. This is the best game that we've in the series that we've had in the last 20 years. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, very happy with it. I think you guys will dig it whenever you get around to it and playing it all the way through.
Mm, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it.